let's look ahead to what could be a John McCain nightmare in the general election. It came in the form this week of a Cincinnati radio talk show host named Bill Cunningham.
At some point, the media will quit taking sides in this thing and maybe start covering Barack Hussein Obama the same way they covered Bush, the same way they covered Cheney, and the same way they cover every Republican.
Now, David, I said that was nightmare. Maybe not.
McCain had a good week because of that, remember. Because he got to distance himself, he got to denounce what was said, and he got to show something that he must show, which is that he's not a conventional Republican.
I did not know about these remarks, but I take responsibility for them. I repudiate them.
The great irony of that is finally he got a conservative talk show host to be on his side.
And immediately got in a fight with him.
And apparently afterwards I read that the guy went back and on the air said, "That's it with me. Forget McCain. I'm voting for Hillary." Anyway.
When I left, John, the crowd was cheering. All was well, no problem whatsoever until about an hour later when John McCain threw me under the bus. Under the Straight Talk Express, I got thrown under the bus.
Look, John McCain has played hardball politics in the past, so let's not anoint him for sainthood here. But he has said in this campaign he doesn't want any references to the personal controversies, the personal smear tactics against Barack Obama because of his middle name, Hussein. So McCain, to his credit, quickly came to the back of the room and before any reporter could ask a question, denounced those remarks. And yet he will not denounce Pastor Hagee personally for statements, and you were reading them earlier in the program with Howard Dean, the chairman of the Democratic Party, on the program. And what they've said is that he doesn't agree with those statements, but he will not denounce Pastor Hagee.
McCain had another problem this week. He was endorsed by Mr. Hagee, someone who is considered an anti-Catholic bigot. Again, he had to separate himself.
John McCain is a flawed candidate. Here's a guy who is a typical situational ethicist. He runs on his integrity, but he doesn't seem to have any. Just this week, he refused to denounce and reject John Hagee, a militant anti-Catholic right-wing pastor. And John McCain has a history of doing what it takes regardless of what the ethics of this are.
I don't know if you heard Howard Dean, the chairman of the Democratic Party, really go after John McCain for not repudiating, not rejecting the support of a well-known pastor, John Hagee, in Texas, given some of the comments he's made about the Catholic Church over the years. I want you to listen to what Bill Donahue, the Catholic League president, said on Thursday. I'll read it to you. I'll read it to you. I do want a clear-cut statement from McCain saying that he knows Catholics have been offended when this man Hagee calls my religion the great whore and a false cult system. Should John McCain repudiate and reject the comments, the support from John Hagee, just as Barack Obama has done that with the Reverend Louis Farrakhan?
Well, I think they're two very different situations. John Hagee, Pastor Hagee, has done some very good things, particularly with regard to Israel, and he has a very large congregation. John McCain has said that he in no way agrees with anything that would denounce or be derogatory about the Catholic Church. A number of Catholics are supporting John McCain.
I will say, as a Catholic boy who spent a lot of time with John McCain, there is not an anti-Catholic atom in John McCain. He loves my people.
Hagee has suggested, at least according to the Catholic League president, we've done some checking of our own, he said that Catholicism is a great whore and a false cult system. That sounds very, very damning, Senator.
Well, John McCain has said he doesn't agree with that.
But is he ready to embrace someone who calls the Catholic religion a great whore?
Well, I think John McCain's statement that he put out from the campaign after the question was raised speaks for itself. And I think that many times people who endorse someone are not in total agreement with them on every issue. That's the case with most people.
American people are big boys and girls about this. They know that you're not responsible for all the lint you get.
Why is he willing to go forth and reject Cunningham but not reject Hagee?
It is an interesting question, Wolf, and it shows you sort of the difficult moment John McCain is in, almost never-never-land.
I think John has spoken to this, Senator McCain has. I think he's been very forceful in saying what he believes about the Catholic Church, and I think that Pastor Hagee has a large following.
That has to do with whether or not, in order to secure the conservative evangelical base, that you will start to see John McCain easing over to people that he previously described as agents of intolerance at one point. that is the focus and direction of that campaign.
They're still a little bit nervous about Mike Huckabee's support among conservatives and among evangelicals in Texas, and so they wanted the endorsement from Pastor Hagee. He's influential. He has a television network for his church. His church is about 18,000 members in San Antonio. So they're trying to have it both ways with the Hagee endorsement, if you will, saying that we welcome his endorsement. We don't agree with everything he has said.
I think that we're in a political shouting match here.
That's a little bit of politics there, Wolf, plain and simple.
And I don't think that John McCain would ever be considered anti-Catholic, period. He said so.
John McCain has a problem with personal integrity. He has a problem of saying one thing and doing another. What about John Hagee? What about a guy who's a vicious anti-Catholic who is supporting John McCain, and John McCain does not denounce or reject him, as Barack Obama did to Louis Farrakhan? That is the kind of stuff that really bothers Americans.
Well, I think this is turning into a political attack rather than anything that's substantive.
Quietly inside the McCain campaign, Wolf, they believe they're getting more of a problem from this because of the importance of the Catholic vote in a general election than they're going to get a benefit from it on Tuesday.